Big fan. Right, well, I mean, you must first off just be thrilled to be here at Somerset House. This is quite a place to watch a movie.
Yeah, I'm really proud that the film's getting its premiere here. I think it feels right that it's outside. It just has such an out. The whole shoot was sunny and outside and in the nature.
And Anne Fontaine and her husband, who made the film, are such classy acts that this is just exactly what I'd expect from me.
Yeah.
Like when we filmed in Paris, they put us in this hotel. It's called Lacoste, and everything about them is always the best. Do you know what I mean? Their rap gifts were like the best.
Yeah.
Everything about them, apart from the paychecks, was the best. And it just seems right that it's here.
Yeah. No, I can't stay to watch it tonight, but I'm really, actually, I'd love to stay and watch it tonight, but I can't. But you're going to stay.
Yeah, I'm going to stay. And Gem's mum and my mum are coming, so it's going to be nice.
How are you watching yourself on screen? Does it ever get normal? Is it always quite difficult?
It's always, do you know what, it does depend on the film, and it depends how good you are in it, doesn't it? Like if you're really good in something, you're like, yeah, I can watch that.
Yeah.
But if you're rubbish, then you just never watch it again.
I mean, I got over that thing of like looking at my ears, and you know what I mean, and
yeah.
I've got over that, so I kind of know what I look like on camera, so it doesn't bother me. Funnily enough, we were at a screening the other day when I was with my missus, and I'm sort of confident about what I do. I feel okay about it. And as I was watching it, she just went, and I went, what? And she went, well, I mean, I'm not being rude, but what was that? And I was like, and she was absolutely right. It was the worst thing I've done in ages. I won't tell you what it is. But she just openly laughed. And she's called Blunt Ellie. That's my wife. Blunt Ellie.
We love her for that.
But generally, like you said, if you're okay in it, it's okay.
Right. I think for me, I find when I was starting out, I found it easier, and now I find it really quite hard. Like the films I've been shooting recently, I never watched the playback ever, and I don't know. I think I need quite a lot of space between wrapping it and seeing it to be able to enjoy it. And also, you always remember. You never can see it like the audience would see it because you remember
who was left and
things.
who was right at the camera.
Yeah. You remember
and the giggles.
I'm just wondering about how your French was prior to getting involved in this project. Was it sort of reverting back to sort of GCSEs again, or was it quite? Or did you have to sort of take refresher lessons?
Gemma did a lot more than refresher lessons.
I didn't speak any French before. I didn't do it for GCSE. I did Spanish, so I didn't know any French, and I only got the part because I Google translated a line and then wrote it down and memorised it in the taxi. And then when I met Anne Fontaine, I just said it to her, and she went, "Oh, you speak French?" And I said, "No, I don't actually. I just use Google Translate." Oh, it's all right. Don't worry about it. You obviously.
I mean, it was I think it was a huge leap of faith, especially with Gemma's character, for Anne. But that, I think, is testament to her. She hired someone who was right for the part who couldn't speak French, because she felt the actual French speaking was the least important thing. And yet, like we've spoken about before, for us as actors, to be given a project where you have to really achieve something over 3 months, whether it be playing the piano or learning French or fighting, whatever it is just such a great thing about our job, to do that. It's very motivating.
It is hugely motivating, and I really did throw myself into it massively.
And imagine you must have spent quite a lot of time out in France and Pavia. I mean, what was the one thing you missed most about home?
Ellie, my wife, probably.
Oh,
but I had Gemma.
That is so sweet. That is the right thing to say. I didn't really miss anything.
Were you able to watch the Great British Bake Off out there?
I did.
That's all right.
Oh, yeah, but actually, what did I miss? I did miss Bake Off that year, and
we didn't yearn for anything, did we? Really?
No. Do you know what though? I do miss London because now I live between London and Paris, and I spend more time in Paris. But when I come back, I'm always like, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just I think I miss the people, and also British people are different. They're much more open and a bit wilder than the French. The French are more. They keep it in.
They're cooler.
Sometimes you've got to leave to appreciate what you've
Yeah.
done.
Absolutely.
I just wonder, do you think it helped you kind of embody the roles at hand, in a sense that they're obviously foreigners moving out there, and you guys are foreigners that also moved out there? Do you think was it quite easy to kind of get into that sort of mind frame?
Well, we were foreigners on the film set. I mean, there were the only English people on the film set were us. There was no one else was there.
Not really. There was a couple of English people who came in every now and again, but generally on day to day.
Day to day, it was just us. So and because we were friends anyway, they did kind of. I think that everyone on the film set, especially Anne, and I think they did like kind of romanticise the fact that we were like the characters.
We were like a little island, you know. We had each other's backs and looked after each other, and so in that way, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience because to dive into something terrifying is great, but it's nice to have a wingman.
Would you like to sort of do more of this stuff abroad? Because I mean, there are so many remarkable filmmakers making movies around the world, and there's actually only a sort of select few British actors that kind of take that leap. Like you said, I mean, you sort of have Charlotte Rampling does it quite often, and Kristen Scott Thomas, but it's not. You can sort of list them on one hand generally. But would you like to start sort of making more films in other countries?
I think Gemma is doing that now. I think.
Yeah, I'm making another French film now. That's why I can't stay tonight to watch the film because I'm shooting tomorrow. I have a French agent now, and actually this year I've made 2 French films. So
amazing.
So this was the first one.
A lot of my decisions about what I do is geographic, you know, because you can't really guarantee a film's going to be great because it's alchemy, you know. It's not something which you can have a template for. So I make a lot of films in Russia, and I've just come back from Georgia, Tbilisi in Georgia, and so I love to just fly off and be a world gypsy and immerse myself in other cultures. So I'm very lucky like that because I get the chance to do that.
Do you find it's almost easier to become more, not invested in a project, but kind of more involved in it in some ways when it is away from home?
Of course, definitely.
Yeah, rather than a kind of bus to work type of job.
Yeah, you've got. That's why you're there. Yeah, in a way. It's actually interesting for me now because I'm in Paris, living there, and working in Paris, which it feels
You're sort
like
of at home.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like. It's not like going back to the hotel and going, oh, who can I hang out with now?
Because when you're in London, because Paris is now your London sort of thing. Because when I'm at home doing a film, I'm like going, sorry, mate, are the kids okay? And I'll be home. I should make it by 6. You know, all that sort of stuff's going on. But when you're away, you're just totally immersed in it.
Yeah.
But that's
you only hang out with the people on the film set. Yeah.
And I was wondering, so I mean, Jason, your role is, I say he's almost the sort of emotional heartbeat of this movie. And I was wondering, he doesn't display his emotions sort of verbally very often. I was wondering if it was quite a challenge to get to the kind of nuances of the character without the dialogue in some regard.
Do you know, it's as I've got older, you get braver, you know, with your acting and stuff. And all the greats that I loved and watched, you know, who Newman used to say about when he did The Colour of Money with Tom Cruise, that Tom Cruise would be flying around with his pool cue and doing all the stuff, and he's just there watching, and yet your eye goes to him. And as I get braver and older, I try and find more of that in parts, because it's what I admire about actors who are not flash and, you know, showy offy. So I enjoyed that.
There's
really
that great scene where I walk away and I know I'm going off to see my lover, and you just look at me and you can see the doubt on his face, like.
But that's French, man. They run the camera for hours. It's amazing. You know, if you have to walk through a door, they go, you must start at the bottom of the village and walk all the way through. And then, you know, when you see the film, you're just knocking on the door. But they start you right down there.
Right.
And it's great because it just gets you right into it. But they'll go, be silent for 40 seconds. And it's just wonderful. It's such a...
And instead of saying action, they say, comme tu veux.
Yeah.
When you want.
Yeah, that's great.
So just finally, Gemma obviously is a former Bond girl and co-starring with Idris Elba in 100 Streets. I think you probably know where this question is. You might be well placed to answer this. What would you make as Idris as a future Bond? Do you think
I'm
he's
so
got what it
up
takes?
for it. I think that out of everyone that's in the running, he's the one that should get it.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Bring on Idris.
That's my opinion.
The thing is with Bond, right? It's got to be a proper fella. That's the whole point of him, right? He's got to be a proper fella. He can't be too groomed or sort of saccharine. And Idris, I can't think of... I mean, there's some proper fellas, but they don't all look like
He's
Idris.
got the voice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just got swagger. Like, he's
swagger.
just cool.
Yeah, he is.
You know.
I'm busy, so it should go to Idris.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It's much appreciated.
Thank you.
Lovely to speak to you both. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!